College respecting item 6.3, the applications for zoning bylaw amendment and for approval of a draft plan of subdivision known as Fields of Springbrook for lands located at 388 to 476 Springbrook Avenue, Ancaster, PED 16135.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda as amended? Councillor Collins, Councillor Johnson, all those in favor? Thank you. Any declarations of interest? Seeing none. Approval of the minutes, please, for May 31st. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Conley, all those in favor? Thank you. Delegation requests, we have none. Members of the committee, we have consent items 5.1 to 5.3 before you. May I have a motion to approve 5.1? We'll go through them individually. 5.1, Councillor Pearson, Councillor Partridge, all those in favor? Thank you. 5.2, Councillor Johnson, Councillor Partridge, all those in favor? Thank you. 5.3. Need a mover. Councillor Skelly, Councillor Johnson, all those in favor? Thank you. Now we're on to public meetings. This is the application for approval for a draft plan of condominium common elements by Web Planning Consultants, Inc. on behalf of Lasani Homes, 1998 Limited, for lands known as 35 John Frederick Drive in Ancaster, PED 16128, Ward 12. Members of the public, in accordance with the provisions of the Planning Act, please be advised that if a person and/or public body does not make oral submissions at the public meeting or make written submissions to the Council of the City of Hamilton before Council makes a decision regarding the draft plan of condominium common elements, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Council of the City of Hamilton to the Ontario Municipal Board, and the person and/or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the OMB unless, in the opinion of the board, there are reasonable grounds to do so. Other than the agent, is there anyone here from the public wanting to speak on this item of 6.1? Going once? Anyone here from the public to speak to 35 John Frederick Drive in Ancaster? Going twice? And third time final call. Anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none. So, committee, may I please have a motion to close off the public hearing? Or public, yes, thank you. Councillor Skelly, Councillor Conley, all those in favor? Michael, so can I please have a motion to waive the staff presentation? Councillor Pearson, Councillor Johnson, all those in favor? We have Michael from Lasani Homes, who is the applicant, is in attendance. Should the committee have any questions? Michael, you're fine with the staff report? And I'm seeing a yes. So may I please have a motion on the staff report? Councillor Pearson, Councillor Skelly, all those in favor? Thank you. We're on to 6.2 now. Application for the Urban Hamilton Official Plan Amendment and Zoning Bylaw Amendment for lands located at the rear of 3385 Benbrook Road, Glanbrook, PED 16134. This is in Ward 11. So at this time, I would like to ask Councillor Pearson to come up to the chair and take over the chair. This is in my ward.
Item 6.2, members of the public, in accordance with the provisions of the Planning Act, please be advised that if a person or public body does not make oral submissions or public submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Council of the City of Hamilton before Council makes a decision regarding the Urban Hamilton Official Plan and Zoning Bylaw Amendments, the person or public body is not entitled to an appeal the decision to the Council of the City of Hamilton, the Ontario Municipal Board, and the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Municipal Board unless, in the opinion of the board, there are reasonable grounds to do so. So I'm going to go out again. Are there any members here in the audience wishing to speak to this item today? Going once. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak to this item today? Going twice. Three times. I will close off to the floor. Seeing there is no one here, may I have a motion to waive the staff presentation? Councillor, sorry.
Yep, I'd be happy to waive, okay. And I'm in full support.
Okay, I have Councillor Skelly and Councillor Johnson, all in favor. And I have George Sajak of Armstrong Planning and Project Management representing the applicant here. Good morning, George. Do you have any questions? Thank you. Excellent. May I have a motion to receive, well, we don't have to receive that. So motion to close the public meeting. We've done that. May I have a motion to Staff report, moved by Councillor Brenda Johnson, second by Councillor Skelly. All in favor? Great, thank you, everyone. I'll give you the chair back. And I'll get you to your spot. There you go.
Okay, so folks, we're on 6.3. This is the application for a zoning bylaw amendment for the approval of a draft plan of subdivision known as Fields of Springbrook for lands located at 388 and to 476 Springbrook Avenue in Ancaster, PED 16135, Ward 12. Again, we have to repeat this after every single item in the public meeting. Members of the public, in accordance with the provisions of the Planning Act, please be advised that if a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or makes written submissions to the Council of the City of Hamilton before Council makes a decision regarding the zoning bylaw amendment and the draft plan of subdivision, the person and/or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Council of the City of Hamilton to the Ontario Municipal Board, and the person and/or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the OMB unless, in the opinion of the board, there are reasonable grounds to do so. Before you have correspondence from the Redeemer College. May I please have a motion to receive that correspondence? Councillor Conley, Councillor Johnson, all those in favor? Thank you. Are there any members other than the applicant here to speak to this item on 6.3? This is 388 to 476 Springbrook Avenue in Ancaster. That's going once. 6.3 in Ancaster, 388-476 Springbrook Avenue going twice. And third and final call for this item, 6.3. Going 3 times. Seeing that there is no one here, can I please have a motion to close off the public meeting? Councillor Conley, Councillor Partridge, all those in favor? Thank you. The applicant, so may I please have a motion, please, to waive the staff presentation? Councillor Johnson, Councillor Pearson, all those in favor? And we do have the applicant and his agent, planning and design of Liam Doherty, planning and design, are in attendance should the committee have any questions. The applicant is here. You're fine with the staff presentation? Yes, thank you. Councillor Partridge.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a couple of questions for staff on this. Hate to have them in here and not get asked any questions today. Don't want to waste anybody's time. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. They're already making plans.
Yeah, pizza for lunch.
Yeah, I know. Time's ticking. Let's go. So we have in front of us the letter from Redeemer University, and through you, Madam Chair, to staff, whoever would like to answer this. They're asking that there be something written into the bylaw or some sort of an amendment with regards to the fencing, with two parts to that. Number one, the height of the fencing, and number two, that there not be allowed to have any gates accessing onto Redeemer's property. Could I just get some comments on that, please?
Thank you. I think Robert Clackett is the staff person.
Morning, Robert.
Morning. Through the chair, staff have drafted 2 additional conditions to address the privacy concerns, the privacy fence, as well as the warning clause. Both the applicant and Redeemer University have reviewed them and are in agreement, and staff are in support of the conditions.
Okay, thank you. And what about the installation of the fencing on Redeemer property? That was the third thing that I noticed. It's included in the letter?
Through the chair, the location of fence will be on the property line.
Right. Okay. And so they're aware of that. And from what I'm hearing is, Madam Chair, that they're perfectly fine with the changes that have been made into the bylaw?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you. And I just received an email from Councillor Ferguson. He is busy with the Hamilton Police Services event this morning, and he will try to make it over to planning for his 2 Ancaster items. But I've seen some emails go back and forth. I think 6.1 was not an issue. So if you can take the chair, please. I just want to ask Robert. Councillor Ferguson did put out an email about 6.1. Have we resolved his issues for 6.3?
Through the chair, yes. Conditions have been also included that address cost sharing with servicing for the existing residents on Springbrook.
And that was his question.
That's right. Sorry.
Thank you, and I'll take the chair back. Thank you very much. May I please have a motion to receive to approve, Ida?
Just one question. Are the conditions in addition to what's in the report? So then we would need a motion to approve the changes to the conditions.
Good catch. A thinker, girl. Okay, so moved by Councillor Pearson, seconded by Councillor Conley, that the conditions be incorporated into the bylaw. Anita?
Through the chair to the councillor, the conditions already exist. They're minor revisions to the existing conditions that are attached for the plan of subdivision.
Thank you. So they will be included. Just to clarify, this is now a motion for you to include them into those conditions, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. So are we happy with that? Mover and seconder? Thank you. So all those in favor for the amendments? Carried. All those in favor? Oh, and a motion please to approve the staff. Let's put Councillor Pasuta on that one. Councillor Pasuta, Councillor Pearson, as amended. All those in favor? Thank you, everyone. So now we have no presentations. We have no discussions. We're now on to motions. So Councillor Partridge, you wish to present your motion.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And this motion is with regards to the Flamborough Baptist Church and the expansion that they're wanting to do. And you have it in front of you. The big issue is that the city requires that they pave their parking lot, and the Conservation Authority requires that they do not pave their parking lot. And so in order to accommodate the gravel parking lot requirement of the Conservation Authority, we require a motion, and that's simply what this is to waive the fees, because it shouldn't really be needed to begin with. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's moved by yourself. Councillor Partridge, moved by yourself. Seconded by Councillor Skelly. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. 9.2. Councillor Conley has a motion for First Road West and Mud Street. Microphone, please. No. God. People are getting a little flippant this morning.
These rookie guys, eh? Thank you. This motion concerns the corner of Mud Street and First Road West. And it goes back to the 1989 that there was a recommendation that street could be closed, that intersection could be closed going to First Road. It was a time when the karst wasn't there, the conservation lands weren't there, because we were going to put a main thoroughfare through the karst and through the conservation area and build 800 houses. At that time, that road would be sufficient to handle the traffic, and First Road could have been closed. It's never got off the books. It's really a housekeeping to a big, larger point. It's never got off the books, and so it's kind of in limbo. And there is people that own land at the corner of Mud and First Road that would like to sell it or build something on it, but they can't when this is over their head that the road could be closed. So this is a housekeeping for the most part, and I would appreciate it if you would.
Thank you, Councillor Conley, and it's seconded by?
Okay.
Councillor
Councillor
Pearson is
Pearson.
seconding it. Any discussion? Councillor Pearson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I really thank Councillor Conley for bringing this forward, as I've had discussions with owners of land on this road as well, on First Road. So I just want to, through you to staff, it says that it becomes part of the next 5-year review. So with these particular property owners, if they want to move ahead, does this still give them a roadblock if they wish to pursue going forward with the sale, development, whatever? Through you, Madam Chair.
Steve?
Through you, Madam Chairman, no, we would provide a bit of direction that they came forward with the development proposal. We would say that notwithstanding the current policy, the long-term intent is to remove that policy and for the road to remain open so that they would be able to develop their plans on the basis of the road remaining open. And as Mr. Thorne just pointed out, if there's an opportunity to do a housekeeping amendment and bring it forward sooner, we would bring it forward in the next round of housekeeping amendments to the official plan, but it will occur no later than at the 5-year review time frame for the official plan.
Perfect.
Councillor?
Excellent. Just what I wanted to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And there was a request for standing recorded vote. Call the question. All those in favor, please stand. Okay, folks, you got to vote for this one way or the other. Let's go. No, you requested it. Standing recorded vote, please. Any opposed? You have to stand. Well, don't be, stand up. To the record. And let it be known it's a standing recorded vote, unanimously passed. Okay, Councillor Conley, don't cause this. Please don't cause this again, Councillor Conley. Thank you. That was 9.2. We're on to 9.3. This is my motion. Please, Councillor Pearson, if you could take the motion's in front of you, and the motion is in front of you. And I'm just going to wear the therefores, or the whereases. There's ongoing significant problems associated with a large number of illegal businesses operating on agricultural lands in Ward 11. It says Glanbrook, but it can also attest to Upper Stony Creek. Whereas illegal businesses operate with unfair advantages over legal businesses, including but not limited to the fact they do not pay the same property taxes, whereas a concentrated proactive enforcement effort and a unique enforcement skill set is required to address the significant problem of these illegal businesses on agricultural lands in Ward 11, Glanbrook and Upper Stony Creek. Therefore, let it be resolved that staff be directed to undertake an 18-month pilot program, including hiring a temporary zoning enforcement officer to proactively enforce illegal businesses in the agricultural areas of Ward 11. That the cost of 18-month project, estimated to be about $170,000, including a vehicle, that the staff be directed to report back with terms of reference, including key performance measures and expectations before initiating the pilot program. I'm going to ask Councillor Skelly to second that for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And if I can speak to it, please, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I was just given some more pictures. I get a regular, frequent request from my residents to help them address these businesses that are setting up next to them. These are businesses that are flying under the radar. They are not being taxed, because we all know that agricultural tax is one of the lowest base taxes that we provide as a municipality. So therefore, they're able to undercut the legitimate businesses that are sometimes just down the road. Oftentimes, these businesses will set up on non-truck routes. They pull in with their big fleet of heavy trucks. My roads get a big chewing. My operations crews are going ballistic trying to keep up with all the repairs on my road. So if this is not something we can address at the beginning of the pipe, then I will be coming in shortly with a $3 million request, as we've just figured out how much it's going to cost to bring these roads up to grade. So that's the first issue that I have with the illegal businesses. But we've had a number of businesses that come forward to say that they are being undercut. We've had Mike Whaling in front of us a number of times to say that he has a storage facility. He charges $199 a month because he pays the taxes, he has the site plan, he goes through the application process, so his overhead is much higher than the guy who sets up shop down the road at $99 a month. So this is completely unfair, in my opinion. We are really not supporting our small businesses, and this is what the problem remains. I can't speak for my rural colleagues, and I'm not suggesting for a million years that we even attempt to go into any other ward. We're just going to try it in my ward for now. We do need special enforcement officers, because oftentimes they show up at the business and the person comes out and says, no, it's agricultural. And so they take them at face value and they walk away. Agricultural does not mean storage facilities, does not mean 18 truck wheelers. It does not mean dump trucks coming in and out at all hours of the day. The neighbors are upset. They go out into the rural area. They're paying their taxes, and there's somebody going by their house at 5 o'clock in the morning, rumbling through, chewing up their roads, and the noise and the debris and all the things that they bring home from their job sites are present, and they have to live with this. If these businesses followed under the procedure that they should be following under, a site plan at least should be imposed on them so that they have setback rules from their properties, that they are encouraged to go on truck routes and not non-truck routes. So I really want to thank Marty Hazel and his staff for putting this together, because we've been working on this for quite some time, and I think it would really help the residents have some sort of comfort level that when they call the bylaw officers, that there's going to be some action taken. It may not be the answer they're looking for, but at least there's some action taken, and Marty and his gang are completely running off their feet, trying to keep up with some of the complaints that are coming through. Again, I do have pictures if you want to see what I'm talking about. These are not your mom and pop places. I have no intention of breaking down somebody who's been there for 50, 60 years, because they should have been grandparented in with our rural zoning anyway. These are people that go out, they go to our committee of adjustment, they ask for a variance to build a much larger barn. They get their agricultural development charges discount, and then they set up their paving companies or their contractors companies, and this totally flies under the radar. We are not even collecting on the taxes. Millions of dollars that we're losing per year on this is astronomical. So part of the report that we've asked the staff to come back with is how much money did we save spending this much money, because it will be cost effective, because we will get these people to either move into their appropriate zoned areas, or we'll have them file for their applications and pay the proper fees, and then they can be on a level playing field with the rest of the businesses who are playing by the rules. So I will turn the chair. Oh, sorry, I'm finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have Councillor Partridge, myself, and Councillor Skelly. Councillor Partridge.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. And just a couple of questions for staff. And I absolutely hear what you're saying, and I know that it is a big issue out your way. One of the concerns I have, though, are for the businesses that have been around for 50 or 60 years, but did not get caught up in that grandfathering that they should have, and that this will now become an issue. Because if I understand this correctly, through you, Madam Chair, to Marty, this will be proactively going out and looking for businesses. Is that correct?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay, and that concerns me. But the disconnect that seems to be between planning and committee of adjustment, where the good councillor just spoke to the fact that they can come in and they can get their variances and go ahead and set up shop, but don't have to come in for the site plan control. Where is the disconnect there? Why is that happening? Or is it?
Through the chair, I'm not sure it's a disconnect. I think what we would expect to have happen as a result of the proactive enforcement is we would have individuals then coming in and consulting with staff, and we may at that point direct them either, depending on the nature of the use. Maybe it is something that could be supportable through minor variance. Maybe it is something that could be supportable through rezoning. Maybe it's something that could not be supportable by staff through either of those, and in those cases we'd be working with them through our ECDEV team to find them a location where the use is appropriate.
Okay. But I guess the other concern I have is the process that we're using right now. Marty, can you explain that to me? Because the good councillor did mention specifically the storage, the legal operating storage facility, and the applicant or the business owner has been in here a couple of times and spoken about it. But it's my understanding that staff have, MLE has gone after some of the illegal storage businesses. They have been put up on charges. They have been taken to court, and yet they're still operating. Can you just speak to that for me, please?
So through the chair, I don't have the specifics. I know that some of them are currently before the courts, so I don't know if they've been actually through the courts. We've been spending a lot more time and effort in some of those areas where they're rural or agricultural. Maybe investigations aren't more complex, but sometimes they're a little more difficult and time consuming. We get a complaint about an activity associated with an agricultural property. The officer takes the person that they're, takes the word of the person that the activity is associated with the agriculture, and we walk away and go to the next call, and then a year later we get another call from a resident. We have to do more digging. So some of them are a little bit more time consuming. And we're doing the best we can responding to the complaints, but we're not even able to keep up with the number of complaints in that area.
So how is this going to make a difference, having one person running around proactively looking? Because right now it's complaint basis, is that correct?
That's correct. Right now it's complaint basis. We would have a person responding to complaints and doing proactive, working entirely in that area, nowhere else, getting a good feel for the types of use and the types of problems. We report back to planning committee with what we're finding and some of the challenges we're having. But that person would basically be a specialist in that area to deal with those types of complaints and proactivity.
So one person?
That's correct.
Okay. So I am uncomfortable with this. And, right here, right now, it does say that it's Ward 11 and Glanbrook only. That I don't have a problem with. But is this going to be the slippery slope that, I don't know, next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, it's going to be, well, why don't we do this throughout the whole rural areas? Marty?
So through the chair, we will be reporting back with the results of the pilot. Certainly that's not staff's intent to expand it. It's just to deal with the problem before us and the concerns in that area and to report back to committee. It's not an intent to expand proactivity across the city.
Because I'm definitely not on side for that. Definitely not on side for that. I'll wait to hear what my other colleagues have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is awkward. So, Madam Chair, I'm just going to hand the chair over then to Councillor Aidan Johnson, I think, as Vice Chair. Thank you, because I'm next on the speaker's list. So
Please go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate Councillor Partridge's comments. And I just want to clarify with staff. So when we moved the motion many moons ago with regards to the legalization or going in and addressing the legal nonconforming in the Flamborough area, that window of opportunity has closed now, has it not, through you, Mr. Chairman, to Mr.
Jason?
Hazel?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Hazel.
Through the chair, yes, it's closed.
So I just want to be sure, because I understand the concerns, but right now, if somebody is running something, an illegal business in Flamborough, anywhere in the city, that opportunity that was directed months ago is no longer available. So we shouldn't have the issue that's being raised now. Is that correct?
Marty?
I'm just trying to understand this. Not that I want to go into there, but I just want to understand it.
Jason?
Yes, so through the chair, so the amnesty, as it was called, related to landscaping uses, it was done at the time of the rural zoning bylaw. There was a period, there was actually 2 tranches of opportunities for people to come forward I guess, seek to be grandfathered into the new rural zoning bylaw. That period has passed. That zoning bylaw was passed by this council. Portions of it are still before the board. Portions of it are in effect. But that opportunity to have some sort of grandfathering is closed. So if a landowner was coming forward to have their use recognized, they would be doing it through an individual site-specific application.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Not that I want to create a problem, but I just want to be sure for the record we're aware that I don't think Councillor Johnson is wanting to stir anything up as far as the direction here, but that everybody understands there is no amnesty anymore anywhere. Thank you.
Thanks. I'll give you the chair back, Councillor.
No, I do have one more question, Councillor. Thank you.
Go for it.
So just if I could, Mr. Hayes, I just want to ask, because it just seems like an awful lot of money, the $170,000, but $145,000 for employee. So this is employee and benefits, et cetera. It seems a lot higher than what we've normally seen as employees coming on to do a temporary pilot project.
So through the chair, that's salary and benefits for a year and a half.
Okay. I just want to verify that. Those are my questions. I'll take the chair back.
And Councillor Johnson had
I'll add that to the list. Thank you. And Councillor Skelly.
I have a question to staff, and that is, how do you determine when a business is operating illegally?
So through the chair, we would simply send an officer out to do an investigation to collect evidence and determine if there was a violation. I'm not sure what you're looking for.
I know in my ward there are a number of allegations of a number of businesses that are operating illegally, but this is on a small scale, mechanics that are operating out of their home, and we get a lot of neighbors' complaints, but when bylaw drops by, they never seem to be able to identify it. So is there an issue, is there a concern that you're not going to be, do you have to catch them in the act? Is there a way of determining that this is indeed an illegal operation, or how do you make that assumption?
So through the chair, we can catch them in the act, collect evidence, or we can use witness statements from abutting residents.
Councillor Johnson.
Yep, thank you. And just one last question to Marty. Marty, how many are on the list currently that we've been trying to document?
Chair, I haven't looked recently, but at one time there were 85 on the list.
85. So these were businesses that have been complaint-based by the residents. Yes?
Through the chair, this was the list that Mr. Whaling brought to Planning Committee, and we were working with him on that after Planning Committee direction.
Thank you. And that was just in his immediate area. Thank you. So I'll take the chair back.
I have Councillor Partridge.
I'm for a second time, but there may be, Councillor Pasuta, did you want a first time speak? Okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you. And just to clarify, thank you, Councillor Pearson, for raising the issue about the amnesty. That was specific to landscapers only. We're not talking about that here, is my understanding. We are talking about something completely different. That's where my concern lies, and it is with some of the smaller businesses. You know, so right now it's complaint driven, but we're going to actually only in Ward 11. I understand that. Somebody going out proactively and looking for illegal operation. Thank you.
Councillor Pasuta, did you wish to speak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. A few things, and I don't know, through you, Madam Chair, to Marty, I don't get a whole lot of complaints, like very few. The 85, and I don't think Councillor Partridge gets very many either. I probably had a couple in my time here, in my years. The 85 on the list, is that all of the rural area in Hamilton or just Councillor Johnson's ward?
Through the chair, that was just in Councillor Johnson's ward, and it was the list that Mr. Whaling provided us in close proximity to his business.
Wow. Okay, and so, through you, Madam Chair, and I don't know who can answer this one, is it basically, is it builders, contractors? There's no landscapers within this 85, or is there some landscape contractors within the 85, do we know? A couple? Just a couple, okay. Okay, wow, that's a lot. It's, okay, I don't want to go after mine either. I mean, the biggest thing that I had was some of the landscapers who went through the amnesty years ago had concerns about the landscapers, and they come on board quite a few in the last few years because of development in the urban area, and so we've got more and more. So, but if the new zoning goes through and does go through the OMB, I was actually at a meeting last night where there's landscapers, and they said, are they going to be paying commercial taxes on that portion should they go through and make it through the OMB, that they're allowed to stay? Would they be paying, and through Madam Chair, would they be paying commercial tax on that portion that was mapped off?
Through the chair, I mean, that would ultimately be MPAC's decision, but I would expect that for a commercial portion of the property, they'd be paying commercial taxes, but that would be a determination for MPAC to make.
We can report.
So, and through you, Madam Chair, so then Jason, it'd be up to MPAC, but do we have any influence on MPAC saying we've done this new zoning for the landscapers, and they ask them, I'm seeing Mike's shaking his head, no. So, Madam Chair, if somebody can answer that question, do we have any influence on MPAC as far as the taxation? So,
through you, Madam Chair, MPAC doesn't necessarily, the zoning is one factor that they look in, but they look at the actual use that's taking place. And then they'll classify it according to their legislation as whether it's a commercial, residential use. And from what I recall, some of the landscapers who are already legal in the Flamborough area are already paying commercial taxes. So you will likely get, my best guess is you will likely get MPAC assessing a component of any landscapers that would be legalized as commercial.
okay, so thank you for that. So it makes it more of a fair playing field that we can get that in place. But at this point in time, I don't have any issues. I mean, in this motion here, Councillor Johnson has staff be directed to report back. So we'll look into that. So it is a lot of money. I don't know how you're going to recoup that through fines or what you can do, but it's a lot of money. But I have a problem, Councillor Johnson. So thank you.
Councillor Johnson.
Yep, thank you. And just to let my colleagues know, I just got off the phone last week with a gentleman who is running a contracting business, and his picture is in one of these, his facilities in one of these pictures. And please note that the 85 is not just Mr. Whalen's complaints. These are complaints that I get on top of Mr. Whalen's complaints. He phoned me to complain that MPAC is coming to reassess his property, and there's no way in he's going to be paying commercial tax. That's why he moved out there. So just to let you know some of the mentality that people just don't get it. If you're running an operation, you're running a business, then